Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirkland.
Powerful and provocative. Prophetic and practical.
Intellectual stew.
Informative and inspirational. How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I do.
Intellectual stew.
Come on, let's talk about it with me, the mind massager.
Intellectual stew with James.
What's up? What it do? Time for another episode of the Intellectual Stew. Let me make sure I'm transmitting because I know I'm here by myself and want to make sure my sound is going out tonight. But call a neighbor, call a friend, text them, share this screen, let them know that we are live or that I am live on the Intellectual Stew. Monday night, 9 o'clock p.m. And we are excited tonight. Go ahead and call some people. Let them know we're on. Let the music ride for a second. And then we'll get the show started. I'm drinking Coke. Don't worry about what I'm drinking. What's up? If you're coming in, say hello. Let me know you're there. Got a little short in this cord. Let me know you're there. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this music off so we can go and get the stove. What's up? Who's there? Let me know. Who's there? Go ahead and get this show started. Hey, Shonda, how you? Ain't all this me today. It is me. It is me. I am by myself for the time being. We might have somebody else jump on with me in a little while, but as it stands, it's the Intellectual Stew with James Kirkland. So it's going to be James Kirkland tonight. Listen, last week, prior to the show, I had to do a lot of damage control. And hey, Chastity, how are you? I had to do a lot of damage control last week. Last minute, laptop wouldn't charge, and couldn't get sound through the microphone, and everything was just damage control, left and right damage control. And I can't really. He said, "No, you thought you saw someone else. Hopefully they'll be in a few minutes. It's only me right now." But it was damage control, right? And I really long to get to the point where I don't have to do any type of damage control. I don't want to have to do any type of troubleshooting. Had troubleshooting today. Microphone over here. Not microphone, but a light bulb went out, just completely out. But you all can still see me, so I'm cool. I got text about an hour before the show because other people had other things going on, and I understand. But the show must go on. I don't care if I come on for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever I decide to come on. I still have to come on, and we got to still have these conversations. And we're gonna grow together. I mean, how many of y'all want to grow together? Drop a 1 in the chat if you want to grow. First of all, just say hello. I see Shonda Hayes. I see Chastity Walker, and I see that there are others that are in here as well. And we're going to talk about a couple of different subjects tonight. And then once we talk about those subjects, then we'll get out of here. I know everybody wants to watch Monday Night Football, all those types of things. And I get it. Hey, Shonda, how you doing? Okay, good. Shonda, what was the question I told y'all to ask? I'm by myself, so I don't have nobody to keep me straight tonight. I don't have anybody to keep me straight. I don't have anybody. What was the question I told y'all to ask? I'm going too fast, and I'm going to have to go from the hip. So y'all work with me tonight. Y'all, and that's why I asked, who wants to grow with me? Who wants to grow with me? And are you, and talk back to me, Shonda. You've been listening for a few weeks. Is the show helping at all? I mean, do you feel like there's any growth? Does it mean what is your interpretation of the show? Who wants to grow together? Yeah. What is your interpretation of the show? What do you think we're trying to accomplish? I think I say it every week. I try to let people know what we're trying to accomplish. But those that are new and those that are listening for the first time, Shonda's one of our listeners. She listens pretty much every week, and I appreciate it. But what do y'all think we're trying to do with this show? What do y'all think we're trying to? Because I say we want to grow together, and I think we are growing every week. We show up here and we have these conversations about different facets of life as it relates to relationships. And like Shonda just said, some things she hears good things that she agrees with, and some things she does not agree with, and that's okay. I mean, I don't expect everyone to agree with everything that I say. My name is James. I might have 5 letters, but it's not Jesus. I'm not God. I'm not omniscient. I don't know all things, but all I can do is take the experiences that I have been through, and I can share those experiences with you. And hopefully, prayerfully, however you do it, meditatively, however you do it, you'll be able to take what you hear on this show. And if you want to agree with it, it's a saying we used to have in the old days that said, you chew the meat and spit out the bones. So if it's some good meat that you can learn from, or that you can acquiesce or acclimate to your life, then do it. By all means. But if it's not, my daddy used to teach me something a long time ago, and what it was that we can learn something from everybody, even if it's what not to do, even if it's what not to do. So I want to talk to young men, especially young men that have been married, that are married, that are making bad decisions. Don't make the mistakes I made. Don't make the mistakes I made. And that's why I'm so transparent when it comes to some of my business, because I get phone calls. They be like, man, why you tell everybody your business? Why you do all this kind of stuff? And I just go ahead and, hey, whatever. I'm transparent. It is what it is. You learn from it. If you don't learn from it, like I said, chew the meat and spit out the bones, and we'll figure out the rest later on. She said you're pretty on point, but some of your guests sometimes, but everyone else has their own point of view. Absolutely, and that's the way it is. But I wanted to get this conversation started tonight, and I wanted, the first part of the conversation that I want to talk about is damage control. I want because, like I said, I've had to control damage tonight. I ain't gonna lie. When I got the phone call and saying that some of my people weren't gonna be able to be on tonight, I really started to get on the phone and start calling other people and get another guest on and do all that other kind of stuff. But I said, no, I don't feel like doing it tonight. I don't feel like, like I said, and my dad did teach me. My pops taught me, if he's listening, I don't know if he is, but dad used to always teach me that one characteristic of a man is that a man maintains control at all times, right? So no matter what it is, you don't let them see you sweat. You just kind of just roll with it. And whatever cards that life deals you, right? You just kind of play the cards. I mean, I've been playing. I was a pretty good spade player. I ain't gonna say was pretty good. I am still pretty good at that. And one thing that I would do when playing spades is, I knew that at certain points of the game, like if I didn't have enough spades, if I only had 3 spades and they were all small spades, then I'm trying to get spades out the game as quick as I can, because I know one card can change the game, right? One simple card can change the game, because if I can get rid of the spades and I got 5 or 6 hearts, 6, 7 hearts, then what happens is with the 6 or 7 hearts, if I can get rid of all those spades, I can mess around and make some of those hearts bad. So that's what I try to do. I try to play the cards. I try to play them the best way I can, to make the game as effective as possible. So tonight, whatever card I've been dealt, hey, I deal with it. So I asked a question earlier on Facebook, and it kind of, to me, it shows somewhat of what they. Hold on, I gotta get. Hold on, Corey's here. Hold on, Corey, you joining us tonight? I thought you
Yeah,
said
James.
I told you was girl. Hey, you got things to do. You got some real live issues going on in your life. You good? I'm over here. I got it.
I
I
just
got it.
finished up, silly.
No, you called me an hour before and messed my whole mind up before. No, you good? You sure you okay? Are you positive? You all right? Yeah, we fighting in public like just a little bit right here. Are you sure you okay? I probably all want to call. No issue.
Yeah, I'm fine, James.
Oh, okay,
I'm
cool.
fine.
So I got my partner. He about to come on too in a minute. LA about to come on. So like I told y'all, hey, damage control. I'm dealing. I'm playing the cards I'm dealt. So what I was saying earlier, I asked a question, and I really wish more people were in the chat right now so we can get this thing started. But I asked a question. I said, of all of us that have children, how many of us can say that we actually planned the children that we have? How
Mm.
many of us can actually say that you sat down, with your, well, most of us aren't married, unfortunately, but you sat down with your significant other, your spouse, whoever, your baby daddy, whatever, and prior to the act of conjugal, whatever you have, you want sex. I'm just thinking sex is the easiest word to say. Prior to that act, you sat down and you had a conversation and you talked about it and you said, you know what, I want to have a baby. And then, hey, Jay Sanders, how are you? And you said, I want to have a baby. And you said, not only do I want to have a baby, but we're going to plan to have the baby. You're going to say, I know the day that I'm ovulating. I know what my calendar is like. I know that if I have a baby I'm going to make it easy, January, if I conceive in January, that my baby will be here in September or October, because I want an October baby. How many of you honestly can say that you planned any of the children that you have? Now, I know what a lot of people end up saying. They'll say something like, no, I didn't plan any of them, but they're all a blessing from God. That's not the question. I know that. I had one person say earlier today, well, if anytime you lay down with somebody and have sex, there's a potential of a baby. Yeah, I took biology a long time ago. I understand that. But my question is, how many people literally sit down and plan to have a child? Okay, Jay Sanders said that she was married, and out of the 3 that they had, one of them was okay. I appreciate that. Anybody else? Did you plan your children? Did you plan your children? Coy, did you plan any of yours?
I did. I planned both mine.
You plan both of them? Okay.
Uh-huh.
And Ashley, did you plan yours? Or was Ashley there? I see her.
Can you hear me?
Now I can. Yeah, I can hear you.
My one that I have, no, I did not.
Okay. Was it prior? It was prior to marriage, Ashley?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if you. I didn't know if it, so. Did y'all get married afterwards?
My ex-husband is not my child's biological father. We met when she was 2.5, 3.
Okay, gotcha. How about you, Coy? Did you marry either one of your children's fathers?
Yes, I was married both times.
Oh, you married both times. Okay, cool. So, and that's good. So, I'll say the same thing with regards to my children. We didn't plan any children. No, I take that back. I'm not gonna say we didn't plan any children, but we didn't plan to get pregnant when we did. I mean, I think all 3 times she came to me and said, "James, I'm pregnant. James, I'm pregnant. James, I'm pregnant." I'm like, but not and something. And I used to always say, and it was a joke, but I don't think my ex found it that funny. But I would always say, I said oops 3 times, or I said oops 3 times. I said oops. But here is the thing: even though we have them, they're still a blessing. And with them being a blessing, we still have a responsibility of raising young, productive citizens, productive children. And I think to an extent, and Ashley, you can tell me if you agree with this or not, I think to an extent, that's one of the best forms of damage control. What do you think, Ashley? The best examples of that.
As far as raising our children?
Well, I mean, we didn't plan for them. They showed up, but we still had to do it, right?
Yeah, we did, and I guess I can agree to a sense, because the thing about it is parenting definitely does not come with a manual. We all hope to be great parents, and I'm just thankful to God that financially, spiritually, and emotionally, I'm able to say I'm a success. This is my greatest accomplishment so far is being a great parent, and I don't say it for my own self. It's been told to me, so. Yeah, I agree.
So you said that you don't have to say it for your own self. Somebody else told you was a great parent, huh?
Yeah, we all think great things about ourselves, but when someone else comes back whether it be her teachers or people in the community.
Who was that?
Oh my God! I guess
Who was that?
Lazeric,
That
but
must have been Lazeric. He didn't know he wasn't muted. Good
yeah.
Lord.
Now he knew he unmuted himself, but nevertheless, people can. We all think great of ourselves. So when you get that feedback from people that don't know you, they just see your fruit. They come back and give you those praises on how well of a parent that you have been or are.
Exactly. And let me just drop this shout out right now to all sisters that I know. Now, and all of them don't deserve it. I ain't gonna lie. I take that back. I ain't gonna lie, because it's some toxic mamas out here and toxic daddies out here as well. But the ones who are raising their children, who did a good job, man, I super appreciate you, and I commend you to keep doing what you're doing. LA, did you plan any of your children? How many children you got, LA?
I got 3.
Okay, did you plan any of them?
1.
You planned 1. Were you married at the time?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So the other 2, what's up, Shantae? What did that phone call sound like, or how were you told that she was pregnant at that time, or that she had conceived? How did you handle that?
How did I handle it? I mean,
what was the circumstance? Were y'all like in a relationship? I mean,
nah. Yeah, just messing around, being irresponsible with my little man. That's what I call it. Just to be honest,
little man. Gotcha.
Yeah, being irresponsible.
I love man.
He called it emphasis on which part, the man part of the. Never mind. But what I'm.
I'm the big man, so
But the question is.
Boy, don't start that.
I'm just asking, but I gotta do. Hey, but listen, LA, real talk.
You're asking.
I gotta mute them
Seriously
again.
though, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You tell me, what was that phone call like?
I wasn't surprised. Like I said, we weren't in a relationship, but at the same time, I knew what we were doing. We was having unprotected sex, so I mean, it was only a matter of time. So I wasn't, I was never delusional like it wasn't going to happen. I was just to be honest with you, I was waiting on the call. But
really?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I don't understand. You have some men who act all surprised or act like they get mad. You know what you're doing. So even
you
if
purposely
in a relationship, what are you upset about? You knew.
LA, did you say you were
Huh?
LA?
Mm-hmm.
I got a question for you. Did you say you were waiting on the call?
Yeah. I wasn't sitting there anticipating, but I knew at some point it was a possibility of it happening. I mean, I wasn't wearing protection.
So
neither.
So you planned it, but she didn't.
Listen, no. Listen, nor was she.
I'm gonna listen at you now, like Maggie.
Nor was she, on birth control or whatever. So I'm not saying I planned it. I'm saying we was having unprotected sex.
You didn't do anything to stop it.
In retrospect, you could say we both planned it.
Yeah.
I thought James just said not that we know what we're doing, but I don't know, James. Go ahead.
No, when I
say that, I'm saying I think unconsciously, when two people are. All right, the woman knows she's not taking any kind of birth control. The male knows he's not wearing protection. You know what I mean? And both parties understand, like, nobody's protected. So they may not say it like, oh, we're intentionally trying to, have a child or whatever, but I mean, at the same time, isn't that what's happening?
Yeah, but when I talk
sense?
Yeah, it does. But when I talk about playing, I'm talking about really like, how married couples get together. Like Jawanza Kunjufu teaches people. He says what you should do is wait till you're 28 to get married. You should have 2 children, 4 years apart, so you get married, then you say, okay, we're going to be married for 2 years, and then we're going to plan, and then we're going to have a child. We're going to start trying to work on having them. You ever heard people saying start working on having a child? You know what I'm saying? Because they know when she's ovulating, they go to the doctor to make sure that they have all the fertility medicine. I'm talking about actually planning. I ain't talking about by happenstance, because I know that I'm trying to practice clean and jerk and thinking that that's gonna work for me. You know what I'm saying? Or
what you call it? What you call it?
Clean and jerk.
Clean and jerk. But a lot of people, we used to, how we used to have, what's that calendar we used to have back in the day where 3 days before, 3 days after? Don't mess with her
The
because that's when
ovulation.
she's her
Uh-huh.
yeah, the ovulation period, because during
Hmm.
them 3 days before and 3 days after is when
Sorry,
she's
y'all.
the
Got a
most
call going
fertile.
on.
That's it.
And if she's the
Yeah.
most fertile during that time, then you want to stay away from her during that time. And most people try to play with that biological time clock, thinking that you can go raw or whatever, all them other 20 days, whatever, how many days is it? How many more days is it? I don't know. My calendar, my days are off. But you got the 7 days of cycle, and then 3 days before, 3 days off, where she's her most fertile. So what's that? 13. So about 17, 18 days, she probably can't get pregnant, right? So you have sex during that time, and you're not planning a child, you just satisfying your needs, right? Or getting your
You
rocks off.
planning to get a nut.
Yeah, exactly. But when that child comes, here it is. That's when the damage control starts. And now, true enough, we ain't gonna call it damage because it's a child. No, a child is a blessing. Every child is a blessing to me. I feel sorry for some of the positions and the hands that some of these children have been dealt. Don't get me wrong, but all children are blessings, right? But if you didn't plan for it, and then you have to react once the child gets here. At that point, to me, that's a form of damage control. Would y'all agree or would you not agree?
I definitely agree, Gene.
Who was that talking?
Coy.
Oh, that was Coy talking at that time. You kind of faded out at the end. So what are some ways? What are some things we do when it comes to damage control to prepare ourselves for children? Who is this in my background?
It probably was me. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
As far as preparing for the damage control, when we find out, I just be honest. When I found out I was pregnant, I was trying to figure out how I can get up out of that thing because that ain't what I necessarily wanted. Thank God for Grace, honey, because she almost didn't make it here.
Oh wow! So abortion was an option at that time.
That in my mind, yeah.
Wow.
That ain't what he wanted, but yeah. And it was more so fear for me, because I was, I grew up. My mama was super strict, and heck, I was in college, and I was just more so worried about what the hell my mama was gonna say. Like I was gonna get a whooping or something. So yeah, I didn't tell my mother I was pregnant until I was like 4 months. And that was after the cutoff time for everything. So yeah, I'll be honest. I'll be the first person to say my child almost didn't make it.
Wow. And let me ask that question for somebody in the chat. Is there anybody who can relate to what Ashley just said? That when you first found out that you were pregnant because you didn't plan it, and all of a sudden you went and took your little pregnancy test and the lines came out, whatever, 2 lines or 3 lines. I don't know how that works. But and you knew at that moment I don't know how that worked. How did you respond? Were you depressed? Were you happy at first? Did you go through a myriad of emotions? How about you, Coy? You were married, and you planned what did that feel like when you found out you had finally conceived?
What did it feel like?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, no, for real. No, I mean that's a real talk. No, y'all laughing.
I
I'm
can
being
just see your face when you just said that. Like, what the hell?
Who, my face? How you see Coy
Like,
face?
I'm saying I could just imagine what her face was like when you said, "What did it feel like?"
I mean, shoot. Hey.
He said, "Shoot."
Wait a minute. You just heard how Ashley said how she felt. Ashley
Yeah, I mean,
mine's not planned. But, well, let me just say this: my girls that are here, those were planned.
I can't hear nothing.
Mm-hmm.
My son that I dropped off in Chicago, he was not planned.
Her son that she dropped off in Chicago wasn't playing. Oh, so you done had you an abortion.
Listen,
I was picking up what she was putting down.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, F, he got me. That's all I thought. I was waiting on that cycle, honey. Like 2 weeks. Like, come on.
Yeah, see, the one that wasn't planned, we did what you call, what some people think they can do, a plan B. That doesn't always work. So you have to go to a plan C. I like to stay in control of things and the order of my life as much as I can, whatever is in my hands. So my planned ones, they're still here. But the unplanned, no, it wasn't. And like Ashley was saying, oh my gosh, what am I? It was just a logical thing for that to take place
But you knew
because
what y'all were doing though.
we didn't know what we were doing, but it was unplanned. So that's not something that we wanted to. We weren't prepared for that.
I don't want to go into a whole nother conversation, so I'll stick to the script on this one.
If
But
it's got
stick to it,
anything to
LA.
do, if it's got anything to do with what we do with our body, please stick to the script.
Yeah, stick to it. Since you knew you
Please
were doing
stick
what you
to
were
the.
doing, and you were gonna get the
I'll
phone
stick to it. I
call.
won't give y'all too much smoke today. I'll stick
We,
to it.
listen,
I
we
don't,
don't
I
even
don't want no
care.
smoke,
We'll
Aaron.
talk about it in a group message. We don't want to get the arguing in front of these good people.
Cause you ain't gonna win.
Period. Poop.
Hey, I'll get y'all later. I'll get back to it later.
Just as long as you don't send no message at 6 o'clock in the morning, okay?
Is he the one that sent that message at 6 o'clock in the morning?
Baby.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah, we
can.
can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, cause I had to do damage control
We,
again, cause my mic started to mess up on me, so I had to do some more damage control. Y'all know how I'm so sick of damage control.
No, we found out how to mute you, James.
Oh yeah, I know how to. I ain't gonna do it. I got a couple of them. I ain't just got a mute. I can do a couple of things. Hold on, let's read some of these comments over here. Shonda
I'm
Hayes
sorry, y'all. I can't see them, so please read them for me.
says,
Yeah, me
start
neither.
prepping to have the responsibility of another life, financially and mentally. Jay Sanders says, I was never opposed to abortion. Had I not been married, that would have happened. Okay. Shantae said hers, I had an unplanned as well, and at the time she wasn't financially stable. And Shonda Hayes said abortion was never an option for me because I wanted a child, but I really wanted it in marriage. And that's the, you know what, that's the thing that I was kind of getting to with my underlining portion of what I was talking about, because so many people seem to be, Corey, they get, one baby, okay, that's cool. 2 babies, okay, that's cool. 3 babies, okay, that's cool. 4 babies, okay.
Yeah.
Do you like sex that much, or you like having kids that much, or you just don't
3
like
is
having
pushing it.
a man in your life?
I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how they do it. And for Shantae, I tip my hat off to her because it's being a single parent is hard. That's why I always wanted to be married to have my kids, to share that because I just didn't grow up understanding that part of life. I grew up with 2 parents in the home, and they leveled each other out. Where did James go? They leveled each other out, but as it's hard to be a single parent. It really is. It's a lot of work, and for the men who are in their kids' lives, but they're not full-time parents, I don't think they understand what it's like to fully be a single parent, especially if they're. I'm not saying that you guys are LA. You with me, right? I'm not saying that you guys are like part-time parents, but part-time being with the child or spending time with the child and things of that nature. When you're there in the household with the child full time, it's a lot of work. So I tip my
But
hat off to
I'm sorry.
anybody who decided to stick it out after they found out they were pregnant or found out they conceived their child.
I think a lot of men still can relate to what some of you full-time mothers go through.
How is
Men.
that?
Well, I'm not gonna say they can relate to it, but they see what you go to, even though they may not be, full time in their kids' lives. They may get them through the holidays in the summer or whatever, but they could possibly be with a woman in a relationship with someone who has a child or whatnot and sees what she has to deal with. And I'm pretty sure they're assisting as well. But that's what I mean by that.
So were you always with the person that you had a child with?
Was I always with them? We
Yes.
we were together. I mean, before we divorced, yeah. We had our moments.
in the same home?
Yeah.
And how long were you married?
Look at you. Look at you. A few years.
So prior to being married, you had a kid by somebody else.
Yeah.
And were you
Now,
with
now,
in
I
a
was
home with that person?
now we wasn't in the same home with that. I wasn't in the same home with that person.
So that you understand what she went through by
Not at the
being there
not,
with your wife. And
I understood. Yeah, look, by being there with my wife, I understood what my child mother prior to her had to deal with alone. Because we know what I'm saying with me not being in the home with them. Is that your question?
yeah, that was my question. I was looking for a more in-depth answer.
No, I'm not going to get deep. I'm not entertaining you tonight, Coy.
That's where I think
That's
that's the direction James is going in. So I just want to know from your end, you know?
I'm serious. I'm saying that I wasn't. All right, look. I wasn't in the home with my first kid, with my first child. All right. So at that time, that was my only child. So I can't say that I can relate to what she was going through because we weren't living in the same home together. I wasn't a full time parent, in the same home with my child at that time. Now, when I got married and I'm dealing with my wife and our child together, and I'm there. I'm a part of it. I'm like, damn, this is what she had to deal with. Speaking on my first child's mother, but she had to go through it alone. Meaning, it doesn't matter whether I'm stopping by, I'm still going home. She's there with the child 24/7. So, yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work on some of you single women. Hell, I take my hat off to y'all.
And you know what? And that's I'm back, y'all. I mean, I told you I'm having this technical difficulties tonight, but and that's the thing, bro. I take my when you talk about taking your hat. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Can y'all hear me?
I hear you.
You do hear me?
I
I
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Okay, yeah, okay. All right, that's the thing. When I talk about this damage control thing, now Corey, you did plan yours, and one of you, I mean, you said one of yours or both. I'm not sure, but that means you were secure. You had, I mean, you probably already had, a baby bed picked out. You know what I'm saying? You probably did the nursery, all those types of things, prior to
Hmm.
getting here, right?
Seems like the type.
Some people don't have
Right.
luxuries, man. And what I hate about those types of situations is that the foundation is struggle. And sometimes when you start off with a foundation of struggle, then struggle almost becomes a lifestyle.
Right.
Never really get a chance to get up off of struggle. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people do. I was listening to somebody in church today, it was a preacher or something, and everything he was talked about was negative, 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 negative. No, Lord brought me out of this. My child did this, or when couldn't pay the bills, and when you couldn't do this, and when you couldn't do that. I was so depressed by the time he finished his little soliloquy. I'm like, well, what about? Are you thanking God for any good things? You know what I'm saying? Are you thanking Him for some happy moments in your life, or why does everything have to be rooted and grounded in struggle? And that's what it seems like we end up positions we end up putting ourselves in when we don't properly plan to deal with these types of situations. But listen, I want to pivot right quick and go to another subject now. LA,
Talk to
you
me.
called me last
Oh, hell.
Wednesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And me and LA be having some good conversations about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning sometimes. But he called me. Now,
Hmm.
LA, tell me what you was talking. Tell us what you were telling me when you called me the other day and we were talking about the friend piece.
Oh yeah, man. I'm a true believer in sometimes your friends, whether it be homeboys, homegirls, they won't allow you to be happy in your relationship. They will ruin your relationship. In my opinion, I used to have when I was coming up, I had a best friend. He's he used to we could kick it all day. you know, do our little activities. I mean, at the end, you know, towards, you know, when it got later on in the night, you know, I would be like, hey man, I'm finna go lay with my girl. Now he would be like, oh man, you all in love, you finna go lay up, man, all weekend, you know, just talking all that noise. I'm like, dude, we done kicked it all day. You know what I'm saying? We done did, you know, whatever we was doing at that time. What you expect? You
Wow.
see what I'm saying? But I used to, and this happened on multiple occasions. So I got to thinking about it. You know what? He doesn't have a old lady. Of course, you know, but you know what they say, misery loves company.
Oh yeah.
So instead of getting upset and going, because we used to argue about, like, nigga, what is your problem? Like, you know, something wrong with you? Like, that's odd. But here it is. You don't have anybody to, you don't have anybody to go lay up with. You don't have
Mm.
anybody to, you know, cap your night off with.
Wow.
So instead of just saying, oh man, you know, that's what's up, man. I wish I had me somebody to go, you know what I'm saying, to go home to or whatever. They rather say, you know, he rather just, you know, come at me how he was. So in
Wow.
retrospect, it could be, especially with a lot of females, um, with their homegirls. Girl, I wouldn't put up with this. Girl, I wouldn't put up with that. Yes, you would. If you was in love with, you know what I'm saying? They say that, but yes, you would. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying? When you in love, when you care about somebody, you in love with them, or when you in a relationship, they talk that noise when they not happy, when they miserable, when their relationship ain't going right. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So you got to be aware of that. Just because they your friend don't always mean they giving you sound advice.
Wow.
It go both ways,
Wow.
in
Wow.
my
And,
opinion.
and that's all it is, and that's what we're doing. We're giving opinions. That's what we're doing. I appreciate you for your opinion, because when you called me with that, man, I could 100% relate, because I could remember when I was early 20s and I was dating at that particular time, and I had one of my homeboys. He was literally my best friend, and we were literally did everything together, right? But I was his. But all of a sudden, I met this one particular young lady who I fell for, who I really, 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 really liked. You know what I'm saying? And I saw the potential of having a real relationship with her, which means that if I'm going to have this relationship with her, then guess what? That means that it's going to eliminate or reduce or minimize the amount of time I spent with him as a friend. And so next thing I know, every time I would turn around, he would come to me telling me negative things about my girlfriend. You know, he would start telling me things like, uh, start telling me things like, what am I looking? Okay, telling me things like, that she was cheating on me, or she had a boyfriend in college. She had all these things. He overheard this about her, overheard this about her. And I would, and as emotional as I was, I'm a Cancer. So I mean, I would respond to everything he told me. I'm questioning her about stuff that, wasn't even true. Then finally he went to her and said, "Hey, I'm sorry that I created all that grief in your life. I was just jealous. You was taking away my friend."
Prime
And
example.
how many, huh? And how
I
many
said
people
prime
have done
example.
that? Man, I asked that question on Facebook today. I said, how much weight does your friend's advice carry you with regards to choosing your mate? And about 90% of the people said, probably 90% of them said no. A couple of them said, we're 30% because my friends have been around for a long time. A couple of dudes said 50% because they're going to give me an objective view. One woman said about 30%, but most of them said 0%. And I was like, dang, y'all must not have many friends.
Can't.
I mean, but they like
Not
Sammy
no
said they
real
like.
ones anyway.
I mean,
Yeah,
what
they
about
lying.
Ashley? Are you gonna listen to anything that your friend says? Are you gonna value their opinion with regards to your relationships?
I have conversations with and I have two friends that I talk to about the men that may be interested in me.
Mm-hmm.
It's ultimately my decision, but as far as me going and having conversations about, yeah, I consult with my sisters because that's what they are to me, my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to say that it's going to be their opinion is going to be the end all be all because it's not necessarily what they like, it's what I like. However, I do value their opinions about stuff.
Got you.
And
How
my,
about
because
you?
my
Go
friends
ahead.
are like, they're older than I am. they look out for their little sister. So I have conversations with them.
Okay. What about you, Coy? Are you there, Coy? Hold on. LA, do you seek your Do you seek your friends' advice as when it you know well you just basically said now at this stage of life because you were younger then.
I'm
Now
gonna be
you're
honest
older.
with you. I'm gonna
Okay.
be honest with you. That same home, that was my childhood best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna give you an example of why I don't pay attention to stuff like that anymore. Even as an adult, with some of my partners, what they may have to say and whatnot. That same friend, one night, I was supposed to go to the club with him or whatnot. Didn't end up going. Ended up staying at home with with my woman.
Mm-hmm.
That same particular night, he ended up getting shot. Now we
Wow.
always together. Now, so if I happen to be with him, who's to say what might have happened? That was
Absolutely.
one occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Another occasion, I was supposed to go out with him again that night. End up getting the call. I said, you know what? I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna stay at the house. He ended up murdering somebody that night. You see what I'm saying? So I don't get all that high side. I'm saying, oh, you in love, ass nigga, and all this type of noise there. Guess what? Me being that in love ass Negro, it saved me from getting shot or possibly, being caught up in something. You see what I'm saying? So, like
What
I
he call
say,
you one
man,
more time? What he call you? Say it one more time. What he call?
oh, in love ass nigga.
Oh, in love. Okay, I got you. I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had this guy
you
that was
know,
in high school. His friend said he was a sucker for love. N.I.
Wow.
UGA.
Wow. 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 And you
nah,
know what? And people
That's
talk about it like it's such a bad thing.
Right.
right. That's what I was
but
about to say,
with the
James.
black
That's
man,
why
with the black
some,
man, they raise us like that. They raise us.
yeah, that's
We raised them. I'm sorry, Corey. Go ahead. I'm ready to get into this one.
Let's go.
yeah. See, I had a conversation with a male friend of mine, and he was telling me how, when he was coming up, he didn't have a father in his home, right?
Hmm.
So he got his male or male values from the streets, basically. In the streets, it was the kids in the neighborhood. They were growing up together and everything. So when he would come around them and he would have a woman or whatever or a girl, they would say, "No, man, don't act like this about the woman, and just hang out with us or whatever. Don't do this. You're a man. You're not supposed to act like that. You're supposed to be this way and that way." And so he didn't know any different because he didn't have a father in his home showing him anything else. So when we always speak about accountability and things of that nature, we can't hold anybody accountable that doesn't know any better. If that's
That's the
his
point.
environment, yeah, that's his environment and his exposure. If the older guys in the neighborhood are telling him, hey, this is the way you're supposed to be about a woman, the woman ain't priority, the woman ain't, your friends are your homies, you're a homie, you're a homie. If he's hearing that and he doesn't have a natural fatherly exposure in the household where he's being taught the right way or how to treat a woman or how to treat his girl or his wife or whoever she is, then that's all he's going to know. And it's sad that it's like that in a lot of black communities. It's
The
like
thing,
that. Like they don't, a lot of them don't know how to um, really deeply love a woman.
the thing is, we taught that in the neighbor in the coming up in neighborhoods like that. Your homeboys a clown on you. They teach you that, and whether it be your father figure, just damn, where everybody go to? Okay, I'll take the show. Hey,
Yeah, bro.
whether
You
it's
just keep talking. I got the production over here, partner. You just keep talking. You're doing well. Go ahead.
hey,
Keep
we
going,
taught that
LA.
we are shown that caring about somebody, especially young black men when it comes to a female that they liking or whatever. That oh man, that we shown that showing love is weak. Like me
Yeah.
caring about a woman or wanting to go spend time with a woman or whatnot, opposed to kicking it with the homeboys. We get clowned, we get laughed at, we get judged. We are taught that showing love or being in love that's a weak trait. Men don't do that. Like Court was just saying about her friend. Oh man, you a man, you don't do this that. Well, damn, I can't be a man and still go spend time with my woman. I got to kick with
Wow.
you niggas all day.
Wow.
Like at what point do the hood let you go?
That's a good question.
You know, men choose a friend like, well, I'm not gonna say men, but young male adults like coming up. Even today, it still goes on. You see it every time. You choose Men would choose their homeboys. Because it's some type of undying, unwritten loyalty that you supposed to have or whatever. Opposed to men would choose their homeboys to rob their homeboys over their mother, much less, you know what I'm saying, they woman. I
Wow.
don't know. I don't know who came up with this rule. I don't know who wrote this law, but it's in every damn neighborhood, no matter what city you in. It's the same thing.
Gotcha.
So growing up,
At what
LA,
at
were you
what point
considered
does the
soft?
hood let you go? Huh?
Were you considered soft if you showed your friends in your neighborhood that you were in love with a woman?
Oh
Is
no,
that
I've never
something
had.
that you had to hide?
Nah, um, I've never had that issue. Now, I mean, homeboys will try to hot side or whatever, and I'm not saying this to be arrogant or whatever, but I've always been comfortable where I am. I've never had no problem getting women opposed to them. I'm like, girls ain't on y'all like me, so I got the jealousy back then. Listen. I mean, I'm not saying that to be arrogant. I'm just saying
I
like
understand what
shit.
you're saying.
You
I
know,
understand.
Okay.
you get
My
it, yeah, you
question
get it.
was,
So
if it ain't about getting women, LA.
I'm no. What I'm saying is, I didn't. You asked me a question. I'm telling you, I never had that issue, but I seen other cats who was, kind of played on like that, and I saw how that affected them. Like I'm looking at them like, bro, nigga, if you want to go chill, go do that. What you worried about what these clowns talking about for? They ain't got nobody. You know what I'm saying? This what they finna be doing, hanging out with each other when you get back. When you done doing your thing, this what they gonna be. They ain't gonna be going nowhere. They still gonna be up under each other. They ain't got no soft leg to run up under, so they gotta sit here and play tough and tell you weak for having somebody. See me, I'm finna go. I'm finna go chill. I'm finna go get mine. I'm finna go get off. I done spent enough time. I ain't worried about you clowns talking about. Y'all still gonna be standing there with your things in your hand. I'm
Wow.
not. Yeah, I don't worry about that. With somebody calling me, hey man, listen, I know better. There's nothing wrong. I promise you, ain't nothing wrong with showing love.
Let
That
me
soft leg, huh?
Huh?
Let
Oh
me read
yeah,
Sammy's
yeah, some
comment.
soft leg.
Hold on. Let me read Sammy's comment. Sammy said my circle is small and familiar for over 30 years, and they usually don't say anything about my relationships. We really respect each other in that sense. But if they do say something, I should really take heed because they haven't been off like that at all. Corey said cats who get upset when they partner get a new gal, they usually feel like they're losing a friend. That's the one I can relate
I
to.
could dig that too.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I can really, I've been in that shoe before because y'all got to think about it, especially your partners. When you grew up. We were together when we didn't even like girls like that. You know what I'm saying? We was kicking it
Yeah.
when girls were, we was playing hide and go get it though. You know what I'm saying? Or y'all chasing each other around the house, or hitting
Hi.
each other. If you liked them,
Hi.
hide and go get it. You know what I said? Is that what you said? You said something? But
I said hi.
you so stupid. But we did. So we grew up then. So that's 11, 12, 13. We started liking girls a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Now she wearing a Letterman jacket and cheerleaders and all that, holding hands, walking down the hall. And then you get a little older and you start going through puberty, and now you start liking them a little bit. They have other things that you like, other assets that you like, and you start like. And so when you do get into a relationship, like I said, I told somebody earlier today, when you start a new relationship, so it automatically affects other relationships, whether you do it intentionally or not, right? Even now, as a divorced man, when I move forward, right, I'm starting a new relationship, but I basically said no to any other potential of another relationship reoccurring, right? Because one relationship typically affects another relationship. Ashley, are you still there?
I'm here. I was actually getting ready to say something.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you fine. What I was getting ready to say is in reference to what you were saying is when you start a new relationship, it affects the other. Me and my friends have already had a conversation. We have the desire to have mates to do stuff with. And when the mates come along for us to do stuff with, just know it's nothing personal. I'm going to do something with my mate. There's some things that he can do for me that you can't do. I still love you the same. We'll get
Like
together
what?
soon, and I'll holler at you. This is a conversation we've had. It doesn't negate the fact that we have a sisterhood or what. I'm still gonna be here. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing stuff with him. So we've had conversations about it.
So y'all set those boundaries up front.
Yeah.
At what age did that start happening?
At what age it was now? Because my friends that I have I've had them that I deal with now. They're probably about 15, 16 years in, and that's the conversation that we have. So, we talk about this on a regular because the things that we have a desire to do, we do them together now with our children. But we've already made the statement that if and when somebody comes into our life that's of the opposite sex and that's permanent, I'm gonna ditch you because I'm going to be doing stuff with them, and we ain't offended about it.
Wow.
We'll have our time, but my time will probably be spent with my mate.
Can anybody in the audience relate to that? I mean, and do y'all set those boundaries with your friends and let them know that once you're in a new relationship, that do you have that conversation to tell your friend who's used to your time and all that kind of stuff? Do you say to them, "Hey, listen, I'm in a new relationship, so I probably won't be as available as I used to be," and honestly, I don't think grown folks shouldn't have to have that kind. What's understood shouldn't have to be explained.
And it's not like, and the thing about that is, it's not like even we had to have it was almost like we were standing there and I'm like, girl, I'm gonna go ahead and let you know, child. Soon as such and such, so she was like, me too. And so that's kind of how it was. Okay. It's not like, you're right, grown folks don't have to have those conversations, but it's just an understanding that we had. We casually talk about the stuff, but it's a real thing. And she know and I know.
You know, I learned, James, too, man, just being, as an adult and being in a relationship. When I'm in a relationship, I don't kick it with single men. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Well, that's a good one. Let's talk about that.
Square business. I don't kick it with single men. Homeboys or not, cause see, some of my single homeboys, I know what they want to do.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? I know what they want to do, so they're not respecting being the fact that they're not in a relationship. What's important to me is it isn't as important to them as it is to me. Let me say it like that. Meaning, okay, I may need to be home at a respectable time. Let's just keep it real. Well, they want to hang out all night. You see what I'm saying? So, oh man, you ain't got to. It's the same thing, and
Yep.
So I find it easy to hey man, if you ain't. We still cool, but I can't just be hanging out with you like that. You know what I'm saying? Single men do single men shit. Men in a relationship do
and I respect
things that
men
in a relationship do. It ain't no disrespect. They still my partners, but it's just certain things that single men do that a man in a relationship just can't do if he want to keep his relationship, a successful relationship.
But that's grown man talk right there. Go ahead.
It is. I was just gonna say, and not a lot of men think that way. Hell, not a lot of women.
Oh no, Ashley.
Because a lot of women,
my married friends.
Mm-hmm.
When I got divorced, the relationship didn't change for them; it changed for me.
Yeah.
Some of them thought we still had the same relationship. I told them we don't have the same relationship now that I'm not married. You know what I'm saying? We can't hang out like I had one of my married homeboys ask me for to my man, let me get a key to your apartment. For what?
No, dog.
The same way you coming to hang out at. You know what I'm saying? Because if you start hanging around me too, because I know how my ex-wife used to look at me, how I hung around my single friends.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start hanging around me, I know I ain't finna give you a reason for your wife to be looking me upside my head every time I see her, right?
See, I used to be that man who, hanging out with my partners in a relationship, but I was the single man at the time, so they was looking upside my head. I didn't get it at the time, but I'm like, oh, I get it now though.
And not only that, because it's not the crazy part about it is it's not always stuff that is going on when the fellas go out or when the women go out. It's just the fact of it. It's like, okay, if a group of dudes come up and holler at everybody in the thing and you the only person who got a man, then what's gonna happen? Are you gonna take you're gonna take the bait, or what you gonna do? Same thing with the man. If all of the women come up and they hollering at the single men, but you're the only man with a woman, what you gonna do? So it's just, I know it's a choice that you have to make,
but don't put yourself in a predicament to where you have to be in an uncomfortable situation. People are human, which people don't realize. People try to act like folks ain't human. People are human. Sometimes folks, ain't as strong. So don't put
I've been
yourself
there,
in a
took the bait.
situation. Huh?
I know me.
I've
I'm
been
like
there, took the
LA.
bait.
Don't put me in that position because I'm probably gonna take the bait.
Yeah, I'm
See,
saying,
that's
yeah,
why I
see,
said don't put
So I'm
yourself
not
in
gonna
a
put myself.
position.
I ain't gonna put myself in that environment because I'm gonna.
You right.
I'll take the bait.
Yeah, and
yeah.
so that's what
Nah,
I'm
it's
saying.
best for me
Don't
not
put
to
the
do it.
yes, sir.
And
Don't
I
put
don't think good friends put good friends in positions where
don't
they can be baited. That's the
definitely,
point. You know what I'm saying?
definitely.
And like I'm 50 years old now. I'm not trying to have a conversation with my friends. We're not gonna sit back and talk about our sexual escapades. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna tell you, man, I had old girl over here last night, man, and shoot, man, we did this and we did that.
I find that just as irritating as grown men you're sending me goddamn porn strips, on Messenger or whatever. I'm like, nigga, you ain't seen no women before. Who gets off doing this? Like, what is your problem?
Nigga,
Hurts the shit out of me, man.
Mary Fleming, I'm so far over kiss and tell that you know what I'm saying. You will never know what I got going on. Like, I mean, we talked about, I asked the question, do friends influence your relationships and everything, right? I ain't got no friends to influence my relationships because I don't rock with anybody like that. You know what I'm saying? My mama's not here anymore, so I can't run it by. She's not a filter that I can run anybody through or anything of the sort. So I'm gonna have to trust my judgment. Number one, are you strong enough to deal with my kind of crazy? Because I got a little crazy in me, and I understand that. So if you willing to deal with, bless your heart, the ass man, I'm gonna rebuke you in the name of never mind. But if I know I got a little crazy in me, and you can deal with my crazy a little bit, then when I say, they probably said Einstein was crazy, right? Most people that are kind of got a little brilliance to them, they call them crazy. And I'm not saying I'm brilliant.
Oh, here we go, child.
I'm not saying I'm brilliant, but I'm just saying that they do. Have you ever tested somebody who has autism? Have you ever looked at their IQ test?
I actually used to work when I was in school. I was a peer buddy for.
Don't they score the highest on IQ test?
They not dumb. They just have a disability.
So why they try to slow them down? That's a rhetorical question. That's a rhetorical question. You ain't really have to answer that question. But
listen, that's a whole nother subject.
Whole nother subject. Yeah, but you're so stupid. But yeah, I'm at a point now where I don't need friends for that part of my life. You know what I'm saying? I need friends. Right. I'm at the point of my life now where I need the iron sharpen iron type of friends. I need the friends that are gonna hold me accountable when I do something wrong. Like, for instance, LA and I don't know each other from Adam. If we saw each other, he'll probably recognize me. I wouldn't recognize him because I'm not good with pictures. But we'll call each other, and like if I get a little discouraged and I say something, LA will text me in a heartbeat. Bruh, keep your head up. Bruh, don't let your chin fall. Keep your head up. Hey, don't let them see you sweat. All that kind of stuff, right? That's good advice. You know what I'm saying? You got to watch individuals that come in your life that are serving as friends. They give good advice. They don't give bad advice. I was reading an article earlier, and it talked about 4 different types of friends, especially when it comes to relationships. And we're going to close on this because we're not going to be on about another 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to get y'all out of here because everybody had things going on today, and I get it. But we have 4 types of friends, Ashley, in LA. We had the just married friend, right? The just married friend is the friend that is in a relationship, just got married, and they want to see everybody else married. They ignore red flags. They ignore negative things. They just think that marriage is the best thing going. And so because they're married, they want everybody else to be married too. Y'all know people like that? Or have y'all ever met people like that? If not, cool, I'm moving on because y'all got dead space on me. But you got the just married friend. But then you also have a different. No, you was muted.
No, we heard nothing.
I said they just first of all, they ain't even got their marriage solidified real good, and now they think it's just a bit. And it's not, no, marriage is not a bad thing, but it's the best thing since sliced bread. And now sometimes it's more of a they better than you type thing, girl. You need to get married, girl. You shouldn't be over there doing X, Y, and Z, girl. Wait a minute now.
Mm.
This man was just out here with
Get
Sarah
married all
yesterday.
in
He
5
done got
minutes,
married. What you say, Lazare?
They done been married all in 5 minutes. She telling you.
Yeah, and then wait a minute. Her man, and it's hey, it ain't always like this, but her man was just with Sarah 3 days before the wedding, but she still decided she was gonna get married. So don't come over here, you so
Why you
blissfully
gotta put
married
Sarah
now.
in it?
Not Sarah.
Why you gotta
Sarah,
put Sarah? Why you gotta put Sarah in it? At least
she
Sarah
in
had
there.
Oh,
Sarah was a
smile.
victim in the situation. So you got a just married friend, but you also have the I agree friends. You got to watch out for the I agree friends.
Those are
Because the
dangerous.
I agree friends agree with everything you do, everything you say. If you say it's positive, they're gonna say it's positive. They're gonna say it's negative, you're gonna say it's negative. They're gonna agree. They're not gonna give you good advice. They're not gonna challenge your thoughts. They're not gonna give you any pushback. And you need a friend that's willing to tell you no. You need somebody in your life that's gonna balance your thoughts off. And when you have an I agree friend in a relationship, they can automatically see a red flag. And if you ignore the red flag, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna ignore the red flag too. All of us have some I agree friends. Ashley, you got any
I
I
don't.
agree friend?
And
You got
no,
an I
I
agree
don't.
friend?
Hell
You
no.
need you got any I agree? Have you ever had any?
No,
Never.
no.
Okay. What about you, LA?
Nah, man, those are the most dangerous type of people to have around you, if you ask me.
He
Seriously.
got you.
You know, I feel like everyone got to have somebody that's going to tell them, even if they wrong, regardless of how they feel. You know, it don't matter if you get mad at me. If you're wrong, you're wrong. When you got that I agree friend, I mean, they don't hold you accountable. You gonna feel like whatever you got going on is right. Oh, my
Yep.
friend, I told my friend about it. She said, hell, she agreed with every damn thing you say. You can't do no wrong with her eyes.
Then you be out here looking stupid,
Yeah.
And
and
they'll be right
everybody
there.
else telling you the same exact thing, but you got little mama over here that's saying, it's not that, it's such and such, so then you out here looking like not a fool, but a damn fool.
And that's what Mary Fleming said. She said, friends are encouraging, but they also hold you accountable while holding you accountable. You need people in your life that are going to keep you hold you accountable. Sammy Smash said the same thing. You need someone that's going to help keep you grounded. I mean, I do that I try to do that to myself, but I do need people in my, and I got to work on that. I got to work on, because I got well, ain't gonna tell, I mean, I ain't gonna jump on my soapbox tonight, but yeah,
we only got
do that.
2 minutes.
I got 2 minutes. Next thing is the selfish friend. The selfish friend. Now I had some of those in my life, and those are people that want to keep me in their life, and they feel like if I ended up in a relationship, it was taking me away from them, and they were losing a friend instead of gaining another friend. And all of us, well, I ain't gonna say all of us, but some of us can relate to having selfish friends. You can just, LA, you just said it a minute ago. What did he call you? Oh, in love, what?
Man. Oh, in love, a nigga.
What's bad about that, man? You know what I'm saying? It was a time, man, watching Leave It to Beaver, and
They needed somebody to keep hanging with, man.
Man, Ward and June Cleaver was all in love, sleeping in separate beds. You know what I'm saying? You had Ricky and Lucy and Ricky Ricardo. I mean, you had all these couples and all this stuff. So love was something that we strive to obtain, to get married, and hopefully one day get married and build a fence and build a house. And live the American dream, have 2.5 kids and a dog and all this kind of stuff, and have a beautiful wife and be happy and all that kind of stuff. But for some reason, you got some people who just aren't happy with themselves. And because they're not happy with themselves, they don't want you to be happy either. You got to watch out for those kind of people, because those are some selfish individuals, and they try their best to have that old grasshopper mentality. You know what grasshoppers do, right? Grasshoppers eat up the vegetation just before the seed is about to come. Seeds are planted, and the fruit comes out of the seed. But just when the fruit is about to really germinate and manifest, the grasshopper comes and gnaws and chews the potential away before it happens. Sometimes friends act like grasshoppers in our lives because they gnaw away at the potential that could be a relationship. They gnaw away at the potential. And that's what Sammy said. Sammy said that's why I don't deal with certain people anymore because they're selfish. They're
If it was up
they're-
to a lot of Negroes, a lot of brothers wouldn't be in no damn relationship.
oh, yeah.
They wouldn't want to let them go.
But what's crazy, Lazaric, is that they had you out here leaving your woman, and then 2.5 seconds later, they got them a woman. Now they all of a sudden in love, and here you over here,
Shit.
you're
You
trying to
better know
figure
it.
out how you can get back in the good graces of your woman, because you
Yeah.
done did the goofy. Because this man over here saying something about you being in one.
Ain't that stupid?
Crazy.
Crazy.
That's stupid. And because that's all he wants. Because first thing they ask LA when you got a new girlfriend, what's the first question they ask? She got a
home
friend.
girl. She got a friend. No, she ain't
She
no
got a
friend.
home.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man, hook me up with a pot. She got any pot? Hook me up with a partner. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying?
you
don't
know what?
what
It's funny that you say that, because I was with somebody this weekend, and the guy came out to talk to the friend that I was with, and here come his homeboy walking out to the car, and I'm thinking to myself, we don't need no. You can go back in the house. She ain't got no home girl. I'm not
We too
she.
old for
She is not
hookups.
me.
No,
Yeah.
we way too old for hookup. Sammy
Mm.
Smash. If I come to New Jersey, you got somebody you can hook me up with? No, I'm joking. I'm being super facetious. I don't need nobody to hook me up with nobody, because I ain't gonna lie. If she come to the car and she looked like you remember when what was on Friday? When
and what's her name?
when Chris Tucker had old girl come to the car at Ice Cube's house, and the girl came, she talking about she looked like Janet Jackson. And then when she came out, he said more like Freddie Jackson. No, so I can't be fake.
Yeah.
I can't be fake. So if I don't like you, I'm not gonna be able to. It's gonna mess up the double date. The double date is done. You know what I'm saying? So so it's best for me to find my own. You
Just
find
find
your
my
own.
own. Don't hook me up with
You ain't
nobody.
gotta ask me if I had no homegirl. She got no
Like,
homegirl. In fact,
You want
I'm
to go on
hoping
a
I
double
find a
date?
girl
Nah,
by
I'm
herself.
good. I'm
You said what
good.
now?
I said, be asking, you want to go on a double date? Nah, I'm good. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
No, we're good on never. So we got one more
Nope.
type of friend, then we're gonna shut it down for the night. Like, and I appreciate y'all. We know this, like I said, this is damage control. And y'all, if y'all didn't like the show tonight, we'll do better next week. I will try to. I promise.
They'll be all right.
Yeah, bless your heart. I'm sorry. We'll do our best. I'm
That's
sorry.
that. Lazaric is their friend.
That's my dude.
Yeah,
Hey,
they'll be all
and
right.
Lazaric is this the type of friend.
Yeah, ain't
Lazaric,
like you
watch
check
this.
it out next week. Shit, it might be a better show for you. Y'all might not
Yeah,
be in this
exactly.
conversation.
Hell, I might go. Come on, look, I might come on
Everything
tomorrow
ain't for
night, depending on
everybody.
how I feel. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
But here's
Y'all
the
know
here's the other
conversation
one.
ain't for everybody.
Jane be sending out emails, text messages, heck, talking about, I'm feeling froggy on the Tuesday. Y'all want to get on?
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm gonna start playing. Y'all watch how I change this up. But this is the final friend. The final friend is one that Lazaric is trying to be to me, and I appreciate you, LA, trying to be the good friend. You got 4 types of friends. You
That's
got
right.
the first friend is the just married friend that wants everybody to be happy and excited, and then all that kind of stuff and bells and whistles. You got the I agree friend that agrees with everything you say. You got the selfish friend that doesn't want you to leave. They want to keep your friendship to themselves. But then you got the good friend. And the good friend is going to tell you the truth, even when it's not popular. They're going to tell you the truth, even if they know it might cause us to fall out, because they would rather us fall out than for you to fall into something that can potentially harm you or mess you up, a relationship that you're going to be messed up in. Because sometimes, you know what, man, and that ties into that first part of the conversation that we had tonight. You get in a relationship with somebody, you find out you don't even like them, but you tied to them for 18 years because you messed around and had a baby. Because you wasn't being responsible, or you're being irresponsible, or you didn't.
Irresponsible with your little man.
Yeah, with your little man, or your grown man, or your kitty, whatever you want to call it. You're being irresponsible, and because you're being irresponsible, you didn't even vet whoever the individual was you were dating, and you didn't listen to your good friends, because your good friends told you that Negro wasn't no good, or she wasn't jack, or nothing, and they didn't do it because they had anything to gain from it. They did it because they had a genuine concern for you, and they loved you. So I'm a little concerned when I ask a question on Facebook about how much input your friends have, and you say 0. I think your friends should have, if you have friends. Now, I don't have a lot of friends. I got to be honest with you. I don't have a lot of friends. So I don't have a whole lot of people to bounce a whole lot of stuff off of. But if I did, and when I was young in high school, when every girl I dated, I brought them to my mama's house first. Well, my stepmama raised me. So I brought them to her house first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I brought every one of them there first, and let her. And one day I brought some girls home from college. She said, "Oh, I'm so glad he finally brought home some cute girls."
Mm.
I'm like, Mom, I thought they always fine.
I think my friends are the first line of defense. I don't bring folks home to my mama like that. And men may be different. I don't know, but when you go to meet my mama, you something special. So yeah, my friends are my first line of defense, and then you go down.
That's okay.
And I got some male friends that I send them information on the person and get their feedback on them as well. But yeah,
what kind of information?
I want to know. I ask questions.
Oh,
you ask. I mean, I'm talking about what kind of information do you send, like dating profiles? I mean, do you do
I send a picture and
do
say,
you do a whole background search? Okay.
I ask questions about the person.
Mm-hmm.
I ask, do they know them? And if they do, give me the rundown on that. And then I've had conversation with my male friends about how I feel about a person, and we have feedback. And then my sisters, we have conversations about them, and But yeah, before you ain't going. I've only had really 4 serious relationships, and that includes the husband and my child's father. So yeah, I'm particular about who meet my mama.
we don't do that.
I know. That's why I said me and I did. Maybe it's a different.
But you know what? That might be some good game for her. Might say, look,
Mama can eliminate a whole lot of stress real fast, though. To be honest with you, and like
and you know what? From a male perspective, I get that. But for me, my mama is almost next to God almost, and so it's like
I see that.
I bring her when they get there, they in there as far as with me, and so I don't bring everybody home to meet my mama.
So let me ask you a question, and playing devil's advocate a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've invested that much, and you really feeling them at this point, but mama ain't.
I didn't bring him home for her stamp of approval. I brought him home for her to meet him.
What if she didn't approve?
That's her thing, because I can't. My mama done had her people that she married, who she married. We didn't have no say so in who she married.
Gotcha.
So no, I don't bring them home for her stamp of approval, but I do bring them home because this who I'm with, and now I think you should meet them.
Gotcha.
See, I would ask you on that.
Once they've made it past me and what I like and what I think, then I think it's the next step for them to meet the most important person for me in my life.
You see what Sammy said?
What Sammy say?
Sammy said
my grandmama was the worst.
I could have brought Oprah Winfrey home to her, and she would have not been good enough.
Grandmama said,
Some fans be like that, man.
Yeah, man.
Those type of women are the women that give me the most headache, because I'm like, listen, I'm in a relationship with you. I understand you want me to meet your folks and have a decent relationship with them, but at the end of the day, listen, I'm not sleeping with them, whether they like me or not. You satisfied with me? Well, yeah. Okay, then that's all that matters. I'm not here to, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be respectful towards your folks, but I'm not in a relationship with your folks.
If I know your mama, if we're not married already, and I know your mama and them don't like me, I'm probably not gonna be too much interested in that, because I don't feel like fighting that subliminal battle. You know what I'm saying?
And then
I'm gonna tell you what. No, but hold on. Let me say this though. Let me say this.
Okay.
Hold on, let me finish this part of it, because I don't want to isolate you from your folks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be the reason, the buffer that, because that's gonna be a constant problem going forward. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be the reason. I ain't bowing down.
Yeah, I don't want to. I mean, because I ain't gonna lie, because I can't say what I'm thinking right now, because I'm sure thinking, and I'm thinking it real hard, because I know some. Yeah, I'm thinking it real hard. So I really want to say it, but I can't say it You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to be the one who isolates a woman from her family or from her friends. Now, if she chooses me, that's her thing. But I would hope that I have a good relationship with her. I mean, for the most part, for my marriage, like I had a pretty decent relationship with my in-laws. I ain't gonna say it was great, but it was all right. But I don't want to be, because I don't want to ever put her in that position where she has to choose me over her family or her. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it should ever get to that point. You know, where a woman got to choose, because you know at the end of the day, family gonna always be family. You know what I'm saying?
But if you're married, but if you marry spouses, if you married your spouses first.
If you married, a woman should know that, and a man should know that. Hey,
you
man,
should. No. Keyword.
I wouldn't.
Keyword is should though, dog.
It wouldn't matter if it's my son. My wife comes first.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
keyword. What it is. You're right. You're 100% right. And keyword is should. Keyword is should though. And in the perfect world, it's 100% right. But sometimes. Sometimes the family feel like they're supposed to be first. You know, I hear you hear people right now that say they're not going to choose their mother, they're not going to choose their spouse over their mother, or they're not going to choose their spouse over their child. Yeah, you don't need to be married, but they
lack that understanding then, because that's just how that goes. I'm gonna tell you like this, I love my kids to death, but my kids are not going to ruin me being happy.
Mm-hmm. But see, you know, Lazaric, people be saying, my kids come first. My kids come first. When they grow up and they leave you, because my daughter's 15 right now. My daughter do her own, want to do her own thing. She loves her mama to life. But if them friends call and I be saying, I want to go and, hey, let's go to the movies, and them friends call, she probably going to choose the friends.
Exactly. So
and when she get grown, she going to leave me.
Exactly. So why do people put their kids before they own happiness?
Lack of knowledge.
You take care of your child. You love. That don't mean you don't love your children.
Right.
Absolutely.
But there ain't no way in hell I'm finna put my kids above me being happy. Because if I ain't happy, shit, they gonna be miserable.
And every other species in the animal kingdom prepares their children to live on their own at a certain point. At a certain point, the mama bird throws the other bird out the doggone nest. And if you don't fly, you on your own. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta prepare. You know, so I mean, that's why for this cause that a man leave and cleave unto his wife. You leave your home and leave. You know, but sometimes those parents want to keep. And I get it. It's the paternal instinct that wants to rear its ugly head and involve itself in your child's marriage. But you need to mind your business. I mean, as long as your child ain't coming home being abused or nobody's or putting their hands on them and all that kind of stuff, then mind your freaking business. I'm getting on my soapbox right now. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm probably letting out some stuff that I'm thinking about in the past, so y'all forgive me right quick. I'm sorry. I do that sometimes. But
intellectual.
Sing it, Ashley. I didn't know you had that voice on you. Everybody in Arkansas can sing, except for Coy. She ain't in Arkansas no more. Coy's in Georgia. Coy's in Florida.
You know what?
Oh, you on this? I didn't know you was back. I'm sorry.
Then you let her in. Chill. You got the control.
She's a mess right now.
A mess and
Oh Lord, y'all. Hey, this show we done. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not turning.
I got some closing words and I got to go.
Oh Lord. Did you get these words?
Did girl, you took the words out of my mouth. Did James ask you for your closing words?
Yeah, hold on. Let me get we talked before the show, so I know he got his child. So go ahead, give me your closing words, my friend.
I got my kid I got to get to go tend to, but listen, a condom costs $52. 18 years of child support costs what? Why pay for the pain when the cure for free? Good night.
I love it.
Why pay for the pain when you have the cure for $1.50? It ain't free that late, but I just say $1.50.
If you go to the clinic,
free. Which one, nigga? I pay attention.
If you go to the clinic, they give you something.
You should let me have that one, man. I was going.
As a man with 25 kids.
Yeah.
Listen, of course.
But Ashley,
they're gonna be free.
Ashley threw you a lifeline. She said you go to the clinic and get them all for free. I get it.
Yeah.
Ashley and Corey, I appreciate y'all for jumping on with me for a few minutes. Like I said, I appreciate y'all. And those that are in the audience that are listening, I appreciate you all for your time tonight. Like I said, if we didn't do it the way you wanted it done, we'll get it right up next week. I promise you we will. We'll get it right. But this has been another episode of The Intellectual Stew. If you have not sent any stars, Please, ma'am, please, sir, support this platform by sending stars, or you can send Cash App, or you can send Zelle, or you can send PayPal. I have all of those avenues available, and you can support this platform by doing so. So I'm about to get off. Corey, like I said, thank you. Ashley, we've all had some busy days today, except for me. I'm the only one that don't do nothing. But I appreciate. I do a lot, but I appreciate y'all, and we out of here, man. So as I always say, when I close, the world is changing, but my question is, why do you remain the same? Y'all have a good night. We'll talk to y'all next week. Bye.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.